Hi guys, welcome back or welcome to our channel. Today I am making Emily's 24 hours. Of course it was in the hospital because I had an elective C-section after I had two previous C-sections, one an emergency and then another elective. I wanted to make this video separately to my birth story, which you may or may not have seen, because I struggle to watch like long videos personally with having the 3 kids. I don't get long enough to sit and watch them. So Emily was born at 12:03 on the 29th of October. It was of course a lot different to my previous C-section with Brody, because this time it was in the middle of a pandemic. There was COVID. I don't think we were in lockdown, I think it was tiers. I'm not quite sure though, it's quite far back. But either way, Lee was not allowed there the whole time, which was a lot different to when I had Brody, when Lee was there for as much as he could be. So after I had Emily, I got took to, like, it was a recovery room where Lee was allowed to come, and we stayed in there for maybe an hour where they checked like me until I basically come unknown, which I have mentioned this in my birth story. Emily apparently felt really cold to the midwife. She said she felt really cold, so we wrapped her in about 4 blankets to try and get her hot, like, heated up. And she kept taking her temperature, and then she wanted to keep checking that every, say, hour to make sure she didn't need to go under the light to keep her warm. So we were checking that every hour. So after the hour, we got took down to it was like a room on our own where Lee was allowed to stay for the 4 hours after Emily was born. So that was, I think he managed to like stay until about 5, so he got to stay a little bit longer, but not much longer, in that room where we had something to eat. Waited for my later feeling to come back, basically. Kept checking Emily's temperature. I had to get my anti-D because Emily did have the opposite blood group. I'm trying to think back, I'm sorry, I'm so spacey. I haven't wrote down here, but I'm just trying to remember things I haven't wrote down. Emily was feeding, I think, about an ounce or 2 every 2 or 3 hours, and she was sleeping on and off basically the whole time. She was quite a good sleeper during the day. Lee was in such a dad bubble. He was just so cute in his little bubble. I think I have some pictures which I'll insert. I was also told Emily's weight when she was first born, and I was told that she was 6'13", which was the exact same as Brody. And then when the midwife come in to see us a few hours after I had her, she told me that she was £6'2". So I was like, okay, that's different to what I'd been told. So I'd been told 2 different ones, so I didn't know which one. So I'm telling people she's this way and then this way, and it was so confusing. And then I think when we left, I looked at my records and she was 6'13". So the midwife had translated it, like calculated it wrong. So we got told our weight wrong. After a little while of going back to the ward, her temperature is fine, so we didn't have to wrap her so much. So that was okay as well. We had our hearing checks and all of our normal checks. They were all okay. I got the feeling back and was able to get up and have a shower around 6 o'clock. So around 6 hours after having Emily, I was walking around and going for a shower. But anyway, I had my shower, got back out, felt so much better. And then this is very TMI, so if you're a bit squeamish, I would recommend skipping this bit. But I had what felt like a big bleed. So I asked the midwife to come and check it, and I had lost a lot of blood. And they told me that it's quite common with your third after a C-section because they've had a couple. And she had to massage my stomach to, I think it was close my womb, or get my womb to contract closed or something. I don't know the terms, but it was something like that. It was uncomfortable having the massage your tummy just after having a C-section, but luckily that seemed to have worked and it stopped all of the blood and the clots and everything. So that was a relief, because obviously that's quite nerve-wracking. Some of you also may know, if you've had a C-section, or just know that you have to do 3 wee samples after a C-section. I think it's to make sure your bladder's working okay and everything like that. So I did them. Every few hours I did another sample. My first one, they told me it wasn't enough, so it was very annoying because I hate having to go to the toilet and then find a midwife to tell them in there. I'd rather just go to the toilet and get back to Emily because she was left on her own. I had to leave her on her own when I showered, which was really scary. I did not want to do it, but showering is part of the procedure to make you feel better, so it had to be done. And I trusted the midwives, and she slept the whole time. I was in and out really quickly. We were up most of the night. Emily slept a lot during the day and not at all during the night really, so it was really tiring. And it was easier with the boys. Well, it was easier with Brody because I knew Lee would be coming in as soon as the visiting was allowed. I think it was maybe around 8-9 o'clock they were allowed to come in. Where this time Lee was not allowed to come back until he was picking me up, and he had to meet me at the ward door. So it was really hard knowing I was going to get so tired and wasn't going to get a break in the morning where Lee could have us, so I could have a couple hours. So it was quite draining. And of course your hormones are just all over, but I think I coped okay considering. And then the next day, like I said, she had all her checks done and they were fine. I had to wait for my papers to be allowed home. I got told I would have my papers around, sorry about that, I got a phone call and the video cut off. So as I was saying, I got told I was getting my papers around 11 o'clock the next morning, and because it was almost lunchtime, I didn't actually get my papers until maybe about 1:30, because I'm guessing they went on their lunch break, so I had to wait. But I got home at around 1:30, 2 o'clock, and then the boys come to me, their sister and everything like that, which was really nice. So yeah, I was only in hospital the one night, which I was so glad because I really wanted to get home to see the boys. That was really all. We of course had a couple more worries this time around where we thought she was we thought she was feeling cold. I had like a bleed and passed lots of clots, and I had to have my tummy massage. But overall it was a positive experience. The C-section went so much easier. The recovery was maybe a bit more off because they tell you, they do say the third is often more of a problem recovery wise than the first two, so that could be why it was. But everything luckily was okay. Like I said, this is quite old now. I had Emily in October, so I'd come home, so this is like going back to October. So you know, it is a few months ago, but I'm trying to catch up as best I can. I'm hoping to upload maybe once a fortnight or something like that, which isn't ideal, but with the 3 kids it works. So thank you all so much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe, hit the notification bell to notify when you upload, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.